For nearly 600 years, the Pelkhor Monastery has been a centre of Buddhist learning and meditation. But Tibet is no longer isolated from the modern world, and the monasteries are no exception. In this last episode, we see how life here is changing through the stories of 3 monks. Tsultrim has to face up to the realities of running the monastery under strict government control. As he approaches the end of this life, Dondrup, one of the oldest monks, is preparing for the next. The youngest monk is Tsephun. His relations with Dondrup, his master and teacher, fall to an all-time low. Now he's facing the ultimate disgrace. The Pelkhor Monastery is central to life in Lhasa, Tibet's 3rd largest town. For over 50 years, Tibet has been under strict Chinese communist rule. During that time, life in the monasteries has seen dramatic change. The deputy head lama is Tsultrim. As the accountant, Tsultrim has to balance the books, and he pays the monks out of entrance fees and donations. The youngest monks get about £20 a month. Dondrup gets over 70. It's very different from when he started 70 years ago. "70 years on, Dondrup is now Tsepfun's master, and it's his job to pass on the Buddha's teachings to his young novice. Without Dondrup, Tsephun might never have got into the monastery. The Chinese government is worried about the influence the monasteries have in Tibet. One way they exert control is to strictly limit the number of monks. There used to be 1,500 monks at the Pelkhor Monastery. Today, there are fewer than 80, and Tsultrim constantly struggles to find enough monks to perform the big ceremonies. Today, every prospective monk is vetted by the local government. It's a process that can take several years. So it was a great honour for Tsepfun's family when he became a novice over 3 years ago. But he still has to prove to the monastery that he will make a good monk before his appointment is made official. When he's not looking after his master, Tsephun should be spending all his time learning the sacred texts. But this teenager finds it hard to concentrate, and it's going to get him into serious trouble. There are hundreds of sacred texts to learn. In the 1960s, the Cultural Revolution caused turmoil throughout China. Mao's Red Guards went on the rampage and destroyed many of these ancient scriptures. It was a traumatic time for everybody in China. Tsephun is still too young to understand Dondrup's experience during the Cultural Revolution. Chanting prayers is central to a monk's daily life, and they start before dawn. A young monk has died suddenly, and Tsultrim has to organize the funeral. Just another of his many responsibilities. This is going to be Tsepfun's first sky burial. It's the morning of the ceremony, and the sky burial master is ready to receive the body. It's a dangerous time between death and rebirth. Buddhists believe it can take up to 7 weeks for the soul of the deceased to be reborn. The relatives asked us not to film the real ceremony. They feared the soul of the dead monk could become too interested in the filming process and delay his departure to the next life. Family members don't come to the ceremony. Their grief would hold back the soul and slow down its journey to the next life. The sky burial master is skilled at dissecting the body. It's early winter, a time of pilgrimage in Tibet. Dondrup's coming to the end of his life, but as long as he can still travel, there are places he wants to go to gain merits. He also knows that if Tsepfun's going to make the grade as a monk, he has to be inspired. So they're off on a pilgrimage together. But first, they have to make themselves presentable. Buddhist monks and nuns keep their heads shaven as a symbol that they've renounced the material world. They're off to a famous monastery, but Tsepfun's just found out there's another part to the trip.
你也拉萨去吗？
我不去谁拍你？是吗？
拉萨是对我师傅的超了。不高兴。为什么？师傅在我超了。
哪辆？
这是10块钱的，师傅买的。
嗯，师傅买的。
是师傅买的，师傅在我买的。这个女的。
Before they get to Lhasa, Dondrup wants to make a pilgrimage to one of Tibet's oldest and most important monasteries. The Ganden monastery was founded 600 years ago, but during the Cultural Revolution it was completely destroyed. This is just one of over 6,000 monasteries that were ransacked at this time. However, most of the buildings have now been restored. Most of the priceless statues and paintings at Ganden were lost during the Cultural Revolution. Ganden is one of the 3 great teaching monasteries in Tibet. The present Dalai Lama took his final exams here in 1958, just a year before fleeing into exile. At its peak, there were over 6,000 monks here. Today, there are just a few hundred. Next stop is Lhasa. It's Tsepfun's first visit to the capital, and it's going to leave a big impression on him. The Jokhang temple is in the center of Lhasa and dates from the 7th century, when Buddhism first came to the region. Today, it's one of the most sacred pilgrimage sites in Tibet. The city is going to leave a lasting effect on the young novice monk. Dondrup is going to regret the day he ever took Tsephun to Lhasa. It's coming to the end of the year, and Tsephun is back from the bright lights. The monks are preparing for Lhasa, Tibetan New Year, and Tsephun's doing his bit to help. But after their pilgrimage together, things are no better between Dondrup and his young novice. The monks are making tormas, butter sculptures in the shape of delicate flowers. It's all part of their elaborate preparations for New Year. As usual, Tsultrim is running the show. Tsultrim has been worried about Tsepfun's behavior since he got back from Lhasa. It's getting close to New Year, and Tsephun has a rare chance to go back home. But he can't get away from his master that easily. Tsephun comes from a large farming family who live just outside of Ganden. Like many women in this part of Tibet, Tsepfun's mother is married to 3 brothers. Any one of them could be Tsepfun's real father. Tsepfun's father has brought some monks from the Pelkor monastery, including Dondrup. If they can afford it, most Tibetan families invite monks into their home once a year for a blessing. It's also an opportunity for the monks to earn something extra and have a good meal. The New Year is over, and Dondrup wants to make one last pilgrimage. It's somewhere he's always wanted to go.
근데 초대 있는 다치 뭐 싫어요. 내진 시체래. 야 다가 초대 직자 저거래. 초대 자모뉴로 와. 다지 자뉴.
사무라부터 니쪽고. 스지라 유군의 윤대생 되어봐. 마.
Tsultrim's come to the Patala Palace in Lhasa to see his brother.
사또 흰 뒤에 숨을 주저 tin데 샹보 칠을 껴봐요 낭서요 배달 전이 상거요 미식에 흉도 준비해라.
Tsultrim's brother Gesang is a senior monk in charge of security at the Patala Palace. The building was spared the destruction of the Cultural Revolution. All of the thousands of priceless statues and tapestries here survived intact.
저럼 저셔게 뭐네. 구죽한가 세 이송으로. 경합을 뜻이. 다시 경합을 하는데 구죽한가 세래. 자, 걸로 주시니까 거들어. 경합에 비티를 이게 간다. 경합에 가봐 패면 고막 가는 장유면 고막. 다들 제레스 들이 스미면서. 지금 자다로 지래.
Lake Namtso is one of the most sacred sites in Tibet. At nearly 5,000 meters above sea level, that's over 15,000 feet, it's the highest saltwater lake in the world. This is Tsepfun's last chance to show his master that he's committed to becoming a monk.
다시 뒤내봐. 뒤내봐도 종대라랑 빠져도 뒤에 타고 싶어도 저 탈아봐 리드도 꼬도가 뒤에 타고 싶어도.
Dondrup wants Tsephun to understand something about Dharma. It's more than just the theory and practice of Buddhism. It's a profound understanding of the fundamental laws of existence, not something you can easily explain to a bored teenager.
어디 점자선 중지를 씁니다. 점자선입니다. 맞을 잘 되는데 왜 지금은
쉬어도 돼. 집에 야 쉬어도.
일단 집으로 들어오면 연설하다 저분은 진짜 오늘 사라진디는 저분 진짜는 쇼고 때깔 잘 사줍니다. 이제 집으로 들어와요. 영도선으로.
사자 델레전이 하장 켜주시 뭐. 제도 면자도 때도 면자도가 언젠데 켜줘야 나 얘기 전부 주면서 시다제데 내셔 시다요 루딘들 해버려요. 농다 동야데 나라도 주어시 레베나로 주어시 사주 멜롱 주어시 조여와 중시대 대부 용어체도 대 농다 땅 거래. 아. 중시대 대부 용어체도 농다 땅 거래와. 최지 라손 남다 치면 약전 랑상 계획이 그거요. 산제 출루와 상제가 그거요. 어딘데스다?
Tsephun is back at the monastery just in time for spring cleaning. The pilgrimage to the lake was not a great success.
당에 콜라르와 잡야데 지금 야구차 렛다토 주스겠다. 비싸죠. 한다 건데 차야 텔이야 레요. 민도 텔 취요 말이야. 비싸죠. 깨져 지지 하다지. 가게요 말 로코비가 자가리요.
Dondrup is furious. He's just found some damning evidence in Tsepfun's room, and he's asked his father to come to the monastery. This could be the end for the young novice.
심지어도 처로 얼 토보로 멸신되지. 하. 쇠자도 비절로 규시에 갈아간다 요래. 다디네 혼조야 빠르잖아 페이지는 해설로 봐지. 해설 지도 넘바디 초부시로제. 뒤에도 강부 통고. 나오는데. 되는 뒤에는 거면 그 댄스다. 거면 댄스다 루틴도 익숙해 되지 뭐. 낭마다 지금 텐데 볼. 둘도 장 땡기 뭐. 많이 한 발 두고서 라콘다. 빠니. 라콘다. 네, 지지. 도시. 나스. 당 산라산에 무슨 다로 갔다. 코. 됐어. 근데 뭐 무슨 시간도 하죠. 다자전에 투로니 코랑 하고지. 코랑 하고지. 첨진고는 저. 샤르 넘지데. 비자가 지진 지진데 가들로서 전에. 로서 가들전에 비자가 지진 지진에 첨진고는 냐루니래나. 냐루니로 아도 동자. 얼 차단질에면에 강통전은 균의 통민우. 자디 통민우 또는 사민우. 미국은 안바보르는 그러여다. 좀니 거 가서 형기고 점점라니 저기 점점라니 미제. tindepe. Mangja to stay to Togi. Togi, Tijin and Sonic. John means that never been Ninja Pet. You can do Yacomo. Communication, maybe yet Chinichazada. Nina. Nina. Tabi Nijanenda. Kunijanenda. Tilo de la Korea Lagrada. And a Nivensin to you. And you could Nivensin to you about Tilo Agri to your chair. Determined function. Then Nina, Yan, Sorrow, Momsha.
And in that case, you
Combat that or join in a thing, something other than 10 toast. Town could mean Galley segment. 가지고 이제 많이 한번 칭송아 동노요베다 동노 파지 나를 쇠 참이네 근데도 제도 봉한테 길래가 지금 근데 고라 때는 니도 사사다 버리지가 버 이번 생애지요 다 최터리.
When times are tough, Tsephun retreats to his favorite noodle bar. Tsepfun's father has every reason to be worried about his son's future.
시골 간데 샤미야 삼상다 거 나서 때에서 송다 거 막음다. 얘는 롭스 송다 대려 지기 능다 뭐간 동안 마지 장 비설삼 비서삼 전 갈래죠. 비서니 집탁지 주스데 여르가 얘를 지고 뭐베. 대 올티 다가 대사 지도 남배 간 대에서다 간 미거리 리자라만 바다 간 공배고 기죠. 근데 장볼
그래도 왜 내로 당내 대실 당 숨다
Tsepfun's father is right. Times are changing, and many of the younger monks are giving Tsultrim problems too. But somehow he has to organize what few monks he has for the Buddha's birthday. The monks are making the centerpieces of the festival, the mandalas. They help them to focus on Buddha's teachings during meditation and invoke the blessings of the deities. The layout has to be geometrically precise. The outer circle contains images of human suffering on earth. The patterns draw the mind into the center of the mandala, where the monks meditate on the meaning of emptiness, an essential stage on the road to spiritual enlightenment. Finding the girl's hair grips in Tsepfun's room is the last straw for Dondrup. The monks are about to start the main performance for the Buddha's birthday, the Cham dance. But Tsultrim's facing an acute shortage of monks, so Tsephun is safe for the moment.
코로나 능시 경매 딘데라 요 말다. 다 코로나 독혈에 공반이. 들어가서 코로나 독혈에도
수도 선데 다 이제 나오면 툭툭툭 잠주도와 제가 하서 버티는 남산 균루지 다 단에다 줄람 진짜다 전에도 야우차 안상 그 호랑 담다 디탐 지단지 체잖아 이게서 섭지 마시고시 마 데데 샤워를 샤발로 용민우스다 나라서는 사실 가봐 있는 곳 냉기
The Cham dance takes place over several days. It's an ancient performance where the monks evoke the protection of the benevolent deities. This is the highlight of the year for the people of Gyansa. It's an escape from the hardships of daily life and a chance to show their respect for the monks and their reverence to the monastery.
Ganden sonuçta. Samında kızın doğumlu kaçı zamca bakıyor. Yani şimdi çıkardı mandas. Sonra tuğnu tesamıcı.
It's coming to the end of Sagadawa, the day before the Buddha's actual birthday. It's taken 40 monks 5 days to make the 3 mandalas. Destroying them so quickly is a reminder to the faithful of the transient nature of life. It's the end of May, the night before the full moon of the 4th month in the Tibetan calendar. It's the climax of Sagadawa, and for Tsultrim, it's coming to the end of a month's hard work. Tsultrim has one last job, to raise the Pelkor Thangka. It's a priceless tapestry weighing over a ton. Local villagers have come out to help. The Thangka has to be carried up the hillside to the foot of the walls of the monastery. The tapestry is the size of 4 tennis courts. It's an hour before dawn, but already the people of Gyansa have come to pray. This is a triple celebration. It honors the day the Buddha was born, the day he found enlightenment, and the day that he died. It's said that every merit earned and every step taken on a pilgrimage is multiplied 100,000 times on Buddha's birthday. It's a way for believers to earn even more merits before passing on to their next life. Tsultrim's worked hard to prepare for Saga Dawa, but he's disappointed with the turnout. Students and anyone working for the government are not allowed to attend religious gatherings, and that's the reason for the poor attendance today. It's just another way the Chinese government subtly controls and manages the people. After more than 50 years of Chinese rule, much has improved for Tibetans. They're wealthier, healthier, and better educated than ever before. But are they happier? As in the rest of China, the Tibetan people have no choice over their government, which controls practically every aspect of their lives. Yet despite this, the government hasn't been able to stop most Tibetans from finding a way to live according to their deep-seated traditions and beliefs. But things are changing fast. And things are changing for Tsephun too.
师不想师傅换了，我也这里有师傅，我都生气了，我也病了。跟老师的那个就是在姑娘样子的，看两天下边嘛就就是的，弄把手弄啷个去，师傅原来这个钱是。 路上在讲的是，那女人路上的给演出不去。这个出去，现在也是那个
He and Dondrup have parted company. But the monastery's so short of monks, they're keeping Tsephun on and have placed him with a new master, Lhasa. In many ways, the tension between Dondrup and Tsephun reflects the changes happening throughout Tibet. Dondrup has never been part of the modern world, and he doesn't understand its ways. Tsephun is the new Tibet. A Tibet which is rapidly embracing the 21st century. Now, Tsephun and Dondrup are going their separate ways. As in the rest of Tibet, the gap between them continues to widen.